good morning, West Suffolk. You find me today in the Land Rover on my way over to see my parents, or specifically my father, as a retired wood butcher. He has tools and I need wood butchery tools. I'm going to go and make the replacement speaker covers or speaker housings for the rear speakers in the Corvette. At which point I can finally, for the first time in 5 years I think I've owned the car, actually have music in there, which I will probably never listen to because I like the sound of the engine. But it's in there nonetheless. If nothing else, my friends, children will appreciate the fact they can listen to some music, or what they call music anyway. I shall also do in this video a bit of an update on the rest of the fleet, for want of a better word. Some things are progressing faster than others. The Land Rover needs work doing on it, nothing expensive, but I haven't got round to it yet. The Corvette rear brake caliper, the seals are in from the States, so I'm now just waiting on my mechanic, Mr. Kendall, the car wizard, to find time to do them. Oh, dead pigeon. What else is there? The pit bike. I have a new stator, or stator, however it's pronounced, and the flywheel puller tool, so I can get on with that. Once that's done, I can finish up the rest of the wiring and get it back in get the engine back in the frame. I've also, hopefully today, if I get time, will nip over to my garage where the James Commodore is currently residing, and try out something that, again, the car wizard, who may also be a motorbike wizard, I'll have to wait and find out, has suggested to help free up the seized engine. May or may not work, time will tell. And I really must look at the ball joints on this thing. That's probably about it for now, but I'll take you along for the ride and road closed, what's going on up there, and see what's what. Bloody cars, as I've said before, they're nothing but trouble, but they're an addiction. Well, on top of, I think, problems I've told you in previous videos, ball joints and sphere seals, swivel joint seals rather, on the Land Rover, although I have got the clock working. The Corvette has got a leaky passenger side rear caliper, and the other day the fuel gauge pegged right over to the full pin. So I thought, good a chance as any, or good a time as any, to whip this bit out and see what's what. Now, when this fuel gauge is pegged right over, it's because it's getting power, but there's no feed from the ohms, the impedance pin, although it did start working again, so it's obviously a dodgy connection either back here or on the sender unit itself. So I've taken this whole centre unit out, given this a bit of a clean up, although there's some spots, I don't know if you can see them, there, and there, that don't seem to want to clean off the glass or plastic. I've also taken the opportunity to remove this non-working older radio, Sears Roebuck & Co. Doesn't work. Tape player doesn't work, radio doesn't work. It does power up, but that's about it. And replace it with this. Cheap and nasty. I think it was 13-14 quid. But for what I want, it's ideal. It looks semi-period. You've got an SD card input, a USB input, an auxiliary input, and Bluetooth if I so wish. So that's all I need really. There's no CD or anything, but I can plug my iPhone into it. It's nice and light. It's small, so it doesn't take up much room behind the dash. So I just had to cut this bit to fit that. Since this plastic is all broken anyway, it's not really an issue because the whole thing will be replaced at a later date. I found out there's a little light up here which I never knew, which doesn't work, so I shall replace that bulb, and I shall replace all of them on the back of this with modern LED wedge bulbs, so that will make it a bit brighter, also a lot less load on it as well. I'll clean up these contacts and just give everything in there a bit of a clean, and we'll hopefully be good to go for a little while. So the radio's now in here. I had attempted to glue that in, but obviously it didn't work very well. So the next stage is obviously doing these connectors for the new style plugs to fit with the existing Corvette plug. I have the old and new wiring colours, yeah, written down. The shrink wrap, got some bulbs to go in there, a different CB to go in the Corvette because this one's got a PA facility on it. So yeah, just waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, and we'll get soldering. So we're getting there. I only had green shrink, so they're all green, but apart from that, so just this last one to do, which is the blue wire on the old loom to the white wire on the new loom, blue to white. So solder that up, shrink that over, and we're done. This shrink is a little bit, probably one or two sizes too big, but it's all I had available. So, but it will do. It does just about shrink down small enough. With a bit of time. And there we go. Soldering iron off. Job's a good one. There we are, it's in. I'll just put a bit of insulation tape around just to neaten it up a little bit. so there's not just wires hanging around everywhere. And yeah, so that's ready to plug in the car and good to go. Just put a couple of dollops of glue just there and there, just to try and hold that in a little bit better. So yeah, we are pretty much good to go. Just change the lamps in those and that's ready to go back in the car. So last bit of this section, I've replaced all these 10mm filament wedge bulbs, some in better condition than others, with these. Difficult to get them out of the packet one-handed. Oops, as I throw them across the floor. With these 3 LED 10mm wedge bulbs. There appears to be one missing there, which is the battery lamp, so I need another bulb holder to put in there. I'm not entirely sure why the fuel one has its own separate little PCB, but there we go. So they're in there, that's there. Because most of these screw holes have all but disintegrated, as I said, this bit of plastic has had it. You can see the bottom mounting bits there are gone, so it does need replacing at some point. So I'll probably have to gaffer tape just round the edge just to hold that in place nicely. I've got one screw hole that is just about okay, and then this can go back in. Right, so you find me currently, adjust the camera a little bit without crashing. You find me currently on my way to Corvette Kingdom to see if they've got a couple of these bulb holders for my dashboard or my centre console. They're fairly generic parts, but Halfords haven't got any, and I just want to get it back in the car, so ordering them online will take too long. So hopefully Scott over here has got some, and I can buy them. Soon find out. Yep, we're nearly there. It's just up here, just round the corner. Maybe have a bit of an explore of what he's got here, which is always good fun. Oh, there's a lovely C2 there, a couple of C2s. Very nice. Well, there we go. Got them. Only a fiver, so that's good. Now back off to work. So there we have it. Thanks to Corvette Kingdom, I've got a full set of lamp holders. It's a bit dark now. I've taped that in place so that won't fall out. The new radio and a replacement CB all ready to go back in the car. Well, it's back in. Not sure if you can really see very well. It's all lit up. There you go, turn it off. Back on again, so it all lights up nicely. The check engine light, which is there, with an LED in, it just flashes. So I'll have to put a standard filament bulb back in there. But other than that, it's all good. The only annoying thing I've got, which I had before, I'd hoped it might solve it with the LEDs having less load, is, I don't know if you can hear, the lights come on, there's a buzzing sound, and it does that with the engine on or anything, so I think perhaps the switch is a bit dodgy because you twiddle the light switch to... So I'm not sure what the deal is there, but anyway, turn that off. We did have earlier on I could hear a buzz with the engine running even with the lights off, but that seems to have got what. But what we have got also though is the radio in here. I haven't got the rear speakers connected up and there's no aerial currently. But we've got power. You hear white noise coming from the front speakers, like so. So when I get an aerial or plug a USB or something in this, should have sound. So tomorrow's job, I've got the weekend off, so tomorrow's job will be to take some MDF and the rear speakers over to my father's. He's a retired carpenter, so he's got tools. And make some new mounts for the speakers, because I don't want to cut up the original ones to mount the replacement speakers, which aren't the standard ones. To put some rear speakers in, I've got a hidden aerial to go in here because I'm using the existing aerial hole for the CB aerial. I have got a replacement CB to go in here, as this one has got no output, and I also need to check the earth on the aerial mount because I have a feeling that may have come off, causing the swar to go sky high, which may be why that one has now got no output. It may have blown the output on it. So yeah, job's a good one for now. Yeah, something you don't see very often. Lovely old Chevy Corsair. Very nice. So, question has to be asked, who is Tanya? And is she actually a slut? I wonder. Well, the rear speakers are in. Unfortunately, I had to make the housings bigger than the originals because the speakers are slightly bigger and they won't fit where they're supposed to. So for now I've wedged them horizontally just to see if they work, and I'll have to try and come up with something ingenious moving forward, but at the moment let's just see if they work. Well, you can hear white noise coming from them. All I need to do is get myself a lead so I can plug my phone in and see if I get music. Unfortunately you won't listen to that because I haven't got anything uncopyrighted. Obviously I didn't show you me putting them in because it was literally just screwing the speakers to the MDF, and I didn't think you'd want to see my fat backside bobbing up and down inside this car trying to wedge them in place. Not pleasant viewing, but I'll have speakers in, So I shall now take it for a little drive, connect my phone up Bluetooth and see how it sounds. So here it is, here is the plan. That is automatic transmission fluid, and what I'm doing, bringing it to the boil, as the plan is pre-loosened, remove the spark plug, in with the Ujima flip, what do we call it? That thing, funnel. And we will pour in boiling ATF into the cylinder bore. And the heat, hopefully, or the theory is, will expand this more than it will the piston, which will allow the oil to go down into there and release the seized engine. We will find out. I would say this. Well, as a quick fix, it hasn't worked, but I'm out of breath from drying. I have put that on now, so it has the right name on it, and I will now just leave that to soak for a few days and then give it another go. If it doesn't work, I haven't lost anything, because I always planned on I'd have to take the engine apart, but so I haven't lost anything. Well, let's go for a drive then. Well, I hope you can hear me. I've obviously got the windows down and the roof off because it's absolutely sweltering out here today. It must be, God, at least mid to high 30s, I would have thought. A bit of a clear out. That was stumbling a little bit where I've had it idling, mucking about with things and what have you. Speakers are sort of in, as you saw. So yeah. Well, here we are in the Corvette. It's a beautiful day. Hopefully you can see me alright. It's not a very good angle. Donning the Pretty Reckless t-shirt, which is black, which is probably the wrong choice, but most of my stuff's black. So yeah, just cruising along at the moment, and I might nip down the Crazy Horse a little bit later on. There's a bike show there, and there's a lot of American cars and stuff turn up. And there's always music and food, which is always handy. So yeah, have a little drive around, try out the radio, make sure that all works properly, and we'll go from there. evening. Yeah, go and put the car away now, ready. A few hours work tomorrow and then off to the Wheels Festival in Ipswich. Nice Capri there. So yeah,